Okay, so this is my continuation of how to memorize the Surangama Mantra. Now, I've mostly been practicing through following the YouTube video that I shared in the previous editions of this series, and it's really helpful. And then I would go in between and go and look at the wording, especially when there's long lists, like in the third assembly, it'll start going through. Deva Graha, Naga Graha, Yaksha Graha, Rakshasha Graha, Preta Graha, Pisacha Graha, Bhuta Graha. And so, like, memorizing the list and not worrying about the part after it, but just knowing that it's going to be Graha. But mostly, I've been at least once a day reciting the whole thing while having it in front of me. And then while I'm driving, reciting the parts that I know so that I can get the pronunciation's correct because there's a lot of little nuance to it. Like something will be spelled Kumbanda, Kumbanda, but then under the D, there's a special dot and it'll mean Kumbarnda. So you pronounce it Kumbarnda. And if you listen to it, then you'll catch those things. Or like Koti, if there's a dot under the T, it'll be Kochi. So all these little nuances to how to read Romanized Sanskrit. So I want to share with you what I have so far. I have the first and second assembly memorized. I can do it without tapping the beats, but I'm going to try to tap the beats. So I'll probably mess up quite a bit. And I almost have the third one down, so I might be able to get through that. Just so you can see my progress, maybe it'll be encouraging or inspiring to you. And it's fun to me to share it, so it helps keep me motivated. But I've really been working on it quite a bit. So usually, what I'm seeing is that to memorize the whole thing, it takes about 6 months. Um, so don't be discouraged if you learn at a different rate, because we all have different vulnerabilities and different strengths. Okay, here we go. Nahama Sarva Buddha Bodhisattvebhya Namasatanam Samyak Sambuddha Kochinam Sasravaka Samganam Namo Loke Arhantanam Namasrotapananam Namasakridagaminam Namahanagaminam Namo loke samyagatanam samyak pratipananam namo devarshinam namasiddha vidyadarashinam shapanugraha samartanam namo brahmane nama indraya Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Umapati Sahiyaya Namo Bhagavate Narayanaya Lakshmi Panchamaha Mudra Namaskritaya Namo Bhagavate Mahakalaya Tripura Nagara Vidrapanakaraya Adimuktika Smashana Vasine Matrigana Namaskritaya Namo Bhagavate Tathagata Kulaya Namo Bhagavate Padmakulaya Namo Bhagavate Vajrakulaya Namo Bhagavate Marnikulaya Namo Bhagavate Gajakulaya Namo Bhagavate Dridashura Sena Praharana Rajaya Tathagataya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Namo Bhagavate Amitabhaya Tathagataya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Namo Bhagavate Akshobhyaya Tathagataya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Namo Bhagavate Vaisaja Guru Vaidurya Pravarajaya Tathagataya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Namo Bhagavate Sampuspita Salendra Rajaya Tathagataaya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Namo Bhagavate Shakyamunaye Tathagataaya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Namo Bhagavate Ratnakusuma Keturajaya Tathagataaya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tesham namaskritva imam bhagavatas tathagata ushnisam sitata patram namo aparajitam pratyangiram sarvabhuta graha nigraha karanim paravidya chedanim akala mrityu paritrana karim sarvabandhana mokshanim sarvadushta dushvapna nivaranim Chaturashitinam grahasahasranam vidvamsanakarim Ashtavimshatinam nakshatranam prasadanakarim Ashtanam mahagrahanam vidvamsanakarim Sarva Shatru Nivaranim Koram Dushvabnanam Chanasanim Visha Sastra Agni Uttaranim Aparajita Mahagoram Mahabalam Mahachandam Mahadiptam Mahatejam Mahasvetam Mahajvala Mahabala Pandaravasini Aryatara Prakrutim Cheva Vijaya Vajra Maleti Vishrutam Padmam Kam Vajra Jiva Chamala Cheva Aparajita Vajradandim Vishala Chashantavai Deva Pujitam Samya Rupa Mahasveta Aryatara Mahabala Apara Vajra Shankala Cheva Vajra Gaumari Kulandari Vajra Hasta Chamaha Vidya Kanchana Malika Kusumbaratna Cheva Vairochana Kula Ardana Mushnisa Idrumba Marna Chasa Vajra Kanaka Prabalochana Vajra Tundi Chashveta Cha Kamalakshi Shashi Prabha Ityete Mudra Gana Sarve Raksham Kurvantu Sarva Mama Sarva Sadvanam Sha Om Rishigana Prasyastaya Sarvatata Gata Usnisaya Jambana Kara Stambana Kara Rohana Kara Matana Kara Vadavidya Sambaksana Kara Sarva Dushtanam Stambana Kara Sarva Yaksha Rakshasa Grahanam Vidvamsana Kara Chaturashitinam Grahasahasranam Vidvamsana Kara Ashtavimshatinam Nakshatranam Prasadanakara Ashtanam Mahagrahanam Utsadanakara Yaksha Yakshamam Bhagavan Tathagata Ushni Sasita Tapatram Mahavajra Usnisa Mahapratyangire Mahasahasra Bhuje Sahasra Sirse Kochi Shata Sahasra Netre Abedya Jvalita Tataka Mahavajrodara Tribhuvana Mandala Om Swastir Bhavatu Mama Rajabaya, Chorabaya, Udakabaya, Agnibaya, Vishabaya, Shastrabaya, Pada Chakra Baya, Durviksha Baya, Asani Baya, Akala Mritu Baya, Dharani Bhumi Kampa Baya, Ukapata Baya, Ya, Ukapata Baya. And then I'm not quite remember the next part. Oh yeah, here it goes. Yeah, Danda. Danda Rajaya Baya. Or is it Raja Dandaya? Danda Raja Baya. Danda Raja Baya. Suparni Baya. Deve Baya. Vidyut Baya. Or no, Nage Baya. Nage Baya. Vidyut Baya. And then it's Dev. Devagraha. The counting is tough for me. So the Devagraha, Naga Graha, Yaksha Graha, Rakshasa Graha, Preta Graha, Pishacha Graha, Bhuta Graha, Kumbhanda Graha, Putana Graha, Kata Putana Graha, Skanda Graha, Apasmara Graha, Utmada Graha, Jaya Graha, Revati Graha, Jamika Graha, Kanta Kamini Graha. Keep moving on my little tonal thing. It's got a bunch of different notes. It's not made for this. So it's hard to stay in the same spot when I'm not looking. And then it's Ajabaya. Ochaharinya, Garbaharinya, Jataharinya, Jivitaharinya, Rudiraharinya, Vasaharinya, Mamsaharinya, Vedaharinya, Majaharinya, Asuchaharinya, Vantaharinya, Chichaharinya, Tesham Sarvesham Sarvagrahanam Vidyam Chintayami Kilayami Parivrajaka Kritam Vidyam Chintayami Kilayami Dakini Kritam Vidyam Chintayami Kilayami Mahapasupati Rudra Kritam Vidyam Chintayami Kilayami Tatva Garuda Sahiyaya Kritam Vidyam Chintayami Kilayami Mahakala Madrigana Sahiyaya Kritam Vidyam Chintayami Kilayami Kapalika Kritam Vidyam Chintayami Kilayami Jayakara Madhukara Sarvata Sadaka Kritam Vidyam Chintayami Kilayami Chaturbagini Patir Panchama Kritam Vidyam Chintayami Kilayami Bringiritika Nandikeshvara Ganapati Sahiya Kritam Vidyam Chindayami Kilayami Nagna Shramana Kritam Vidyam Chindayami Kilayami Arhanta Kritam Vidyam Chindayami Kilayami And then There's like two more after Arhanta. I think it's Shramana Kritam Vidyam Chindayami Kilayami Vajrapani Guhyaka Adipati Kritam Vidyam Chindayami Kilayami Raksha Raksha Ma. So this was a few weeks of really diligent effort, and this is my first time trying to count out the beat. And what I'm noticing is I'm going too fast. So I need to start maybe a little slower, like Nama Sarva Buddha Bodhisattve Nama Saptanam Samyak Sambuddha Kochinam Sasravaka Samganam Namo Loke Arhantana Namasro Namasrota Panana Namasakridagaminam Nama Anagaminam Namoloke Arhantana Namo Loke Samyagatanam Samyakpatipananam Namo Devashinam Nama Siddha Vidyadarashinam Shapanugraha Samartanam Namo Brahmane Nama Indraya Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Umapati Sahiyaya Namo Bhagavate Narayanaya Lakshmi Panchamahamudra Namaskritaya Namo Bhagavate Mahakalaya Tripura Nagara Vidrapanakaraya Adimukti Kashmashana Vasine Patrigana Namaskritaya. Yeah, that's better. So hopefully in a few weeks, I'll have the whole thing done. I'm about halfway now. So I'll try to have my beats down better to share with you guys, and I'll share a final product that can just be used for any time you're chanting at home if you want to follow along. And I'll wait until I really get all the pronunciation down well, because right now it's like as I'm focusing on counting, I'm missing some of the correct pronunciation a little bit. I'll try to get a better mic as well for it, and I won't have my face up for it. I'll just put some sort of neutral, image of a Buddha background. But thank you guys very much for following along with my process here. I hope that you're using this to inspire yourself and maybe taking some of the things I've learned to make it easier for you. One thing that I did mention last time, and I want to reiterate the strategy, especially when you come to these long lists of like in the third assembly, it's one of the first really long lists where you have Devagraha, Nagagraha, Yakshagraha, Rakshasagraha, Pretagraha, Pishachagraha, Bhutagraha, Kumbhandagraha, Putanagraha, Kataputanagraha, Skandagraha, Apasmadagraha, Utmadagraha, Chayagraha, Ravatigraha, Jamikagraha, uh, Kantakaminigraha. So if you know how many there are going to be, 12, then you know, like if you remember them all and you practice that way. But you just start with the first few and then close your eyes and try to repeat them. And then try to add a few more. Close your eyes and try to repeat them. Just keep doing it until you can get all of them with your eyes closed and you can repeat them. Your mind will start associating them together. And then if every day you're chanting the whole thing using the YouTube video that's shown on the previous editions in the series, then you'll automatically develop these associations. So for me, like I just apasmata for some reason really grabbed my attention, that word. And so then I knew utmata was after apasmata. And then I knew skanda came before apasmata. And I knew I like putana, the way in when you listen to the YouTube video that I'm learning from, it goes putana gaha graha kata putana graha. The harmonics of that was really nice. And so when Putana hits, you know Kata Putana is going to hit next. And so then putting things relative to that. So what's before that? And then what's after that? So doing those sorts of things, finding which words in your mind, grab your mind a little bit more for some reason and create sort of a memory focus. And then you understand, you want to know the words attached around those words. That's the strategy that seems to work for me. And every time you daily recite, by looking at it, that's going to help you too. It's going to get to a point where, like, I'll notice with mantras I've learned, like the Nilankantha Dharani, where I didn't learn the proper spacing, the beats, and the syllable count. If I try to recite that mantra and be conscious about trying to choose a syllable count based on like if it's an O or an E, I can't recite it. Like the thought actually disrupts the process, the way the mantra was laid down. I have to just recite it naturally, and then it will just flow. So that's why I want to learn this one with the correct beat spacing. So that's how it flows out. Because that's what Master Swanhua says, is that when you have the mantra memorized and reciting it properly, it's like there's no thought, like it's just flowing out like water. And I was talking to a Vietnamese Buddhist monk who I've worked with for a few years now about the syllable spacing stuff, because the spacing for the Chinese transliteration, the Vietnamese transliteration doesn't match the Sanskrit spacing. And I wonder like how important that is. And so he told me a story about this monk who was going on his alms rounds and begging from individual houses, and he saw in this house that there was this great light coming from it. And so he went in and he was talking with the woman there and asked her what her practices were. And she said she practiced reciting, Om Mani Padme Bum, or like she made some difference in the Sanskrit version of the Om Mani Padme Hum. And so she was saying it slightly incorrectly. So he said, "Oh, no, 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 that's not the correct pronunciation. This is the correct pronunciation." And then he left. And when he was leaving, he noticed that light was gone from the top of her house. And so he went back in and said, actually, I made a mistake. Your previous pronunciation was correct. Please go back to that. So it really highlights like that the intention is important. So if we have a mantra that we've already learned and the intention behind it was pure, we don't need to be judgmental of like individual aspects of it. But I think once we know that there is a correct spacing, then I think we're really responsible to be sincere and to try to learn it as best as we can. And that gives a whole different sort of diligence and energy behind it. Um, and it's really beautiful, like the harmonics. When you get multiple people doing this, if you listen to the YouTube video, oh man, I just, the process has really carried me along. Like it's really fun and interesting. So I hope you find it the same way. And let's see if my background will let me show this to you. Yeah, this is what I'm using to count it out. That's why the sound keeps changing. So I might need to get something better. This isn't made for chanting. But it's pretty good. Some of the notes really harmonize with the Nahama Sarva Buddha Bodhisattvebhya Namasatanam Samyak Sambuddha Kotinam. It's got like a nice, it matches it. So guys, thank you very much. If you listen this long, if you're hearing this last part of my video, please subscribe. If I get enough subscribers, I can start to do live streams, and then maybe there can be some sort of community that comes out of it. So subscribe, like this video, and check out my other ones. Hopefully, sometime over the Christmas break, I'll get up chapter 10, and maybe I'll even try to make a little bit more progress with the Lotus Sutra, get up a few chapters, because I'm about halfway through, not by chapter, but by volume of the book right now. So, and then I'll move on to next ones. If I get enough community and people start like asking for particular ones, I will. I'm thinking Earth Store Bodhisattva mantra. I'm thinking, or not mantra, Earth Store Bodhisattva Sutra, Medicine Buddha Sutra, maybe the Amitabha Buddha, the Pure Land Sutra, the Amitabha Sutra. I'm not going to tackle the Shurangama Sutra yet. That's gonna be later. But so yeah, if you have any other ideas, let me know. Definitely not tackling the Avatamsaka Sutra yet, but one day I'll try to do all the Avatamsaka. Maybe I'll just start with the abridged version. Anyways, thank you very much. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.